Hello, Steve White, Steve White 89. I just did a video about customer service and Karenism and sort of the sort of Karen syndrome we're sort of seeing with a lot of people. And I did just want to confess to a couple of incidents that I'm actually kind of proud of that could have been misconstrued as Karen behaviour, like proper Karen behaviour. I'm just actually two of them. I'm just going to go in two of them because there's been a couple over the years, actually, but really only two that reached that level. And they're both with fast food services. So I would weekly go to this bar pretty much every Sunday, and afterwards I would normally drop by one of the fast food stores on the way home and get usually the same thing because I really liked it and it was really cheap. It was an absolute bargain. It was perfect. And then one day there was someone new working in my usual store, and normally what they would do is there'd be one thing I didn't like in this deal, and I'd say, can you just take that out? And normally they'd put in something extra of one of the other things which I liked, and that was great. And that's just what they normally do. I did that every week, and it's just something that they knew. That's just what they did. But this new person who had either not worked there before or worked at a different fast food chain, I should have said chain, not service or store, she didn't know. She's like, no, we don't do that. And I'm like, yes, you do. I come here every week. Are you new? Perhaps you're not familiar with this, blah, blah, blah. She just gave me a lot of attitude, like, no, this is not what we do. You shouldn't be, like, asking for that. And I'm like, can I speak to your manager, please? And she's like, oh. So she gets the manager, and he said, oh, no, this is normally what we do. This is fine. That's what we do. And she's like, she did it that time. I went, ate my meal, was fine. Next time I came back, she wouldn't always be working there that day, but she'd be there a lot of Sundays. And whenever I came in, she'd make it clear she recognised me, like, oh, hello again. And then she would give me the order as it's, is before, because I would ask, and she'd just say yes and then not do it. She would deliberately give me the regular order, not do what I asked and what she knew people, was an option with that order. And she'd just do it deliberately. And every week I'd have to come and ask to have it fixed. And sometimes she wouldn't do it, or a couple of times actually I had to speak to the manager and have them do it again. She just was fighting me on this. I'm like, this is not your job. This is not how you treat customers. And the manager wasn't too impressed either. But the last time it happened, this is just ridiculous. So I walked up and I stood in front of the counter, looked right at her, and I took the order and I threw it behind her, not at her. I was made it real clear I wasn't trying to assault her, and threw it at the back display, the screen, so she would have to clean it off. That was my protest on being given the wrong order for the fifth time in a row, deliberately by this person, deliberately trying to antagonize me. And this was my protest, and I walked out and I knew that she would have to clean that up, and I was quite happy with making her do extra work to make up for the fact that she was going the extra mile to make my day more difficult and just to spite me. I mean, what sort of person deliberately gives someone the wrong order knowing what they want regularly just to spite them because they spoke to the manager because they were new and didn't know, like, a standard thing that they did. Instead of just saying, oh, I didn't realise that, I'm new, and then just doing that and not taking it personally. But she was so nasty, and I gave it back. I lost. I just decided, you know what? That's who this person is. I'm going to speak in their language. So yes, I did have what could have been misconstrued as a Karen moment. If not knowing the full story that this had been going on for a month or two, you might just think I might have been a Karen having a moment, but no, it was more than that. And there was another similar incident once where someone was screwing me around. It was at a different fast food chain, and I was actually, at the time, had an ice cream that was melting basically while this person was doing something they was supposed to be doing, and deliberately, spitefully, irrationally doing something they shouldn't have been doing. And instead of speaking to the manager, I thought, I couldn't be bothered dealing with another person like this. I just got the ice cream, it was all melted, and dumped it on the counter in front of that server and walked off because I wanted them to have to clean that mess up. The mess that they created and were creating by basically being a horrible server. And I don't feel a bit bad about either of these people having to clean up the mess because they essentially created it. And yes, If you didn't know the story, if you hadn't been standing there for 20 minutes and seen how long I'd been waiting and this person had been rude and ignoring me and not resolving this issue, and I don't want to go into it. I want to keep this video to 5 minutes. I don't have time to go into the details. But yeah, you might have thought I was a Karen having, one of those moments. But I do believe you have the right to speak to the manager. If you're not getting the correct customer service, you should be able to complain. And there's an acceptable level of Karenism, but then there's other levels where people are just being abusive and crazy and irrational and racist. I don't condone that. But I think there should be a distinction between the two or three. But I'm going to go. Feel free to share, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think. If you have any stories like mine, feel free to share them. I know I'm not the only one.